Because we were told that oh no, Islam came to make it better for them, and it was all revolutionary, but it doesn't really seem like it. So I'm more really on the fence at this point, especially after like having these discussions with you, because no one answers my questions, because I'm not really in a place where they can where we don't really have a loud voice of Arabic apologetics in Christianity.
You have me here. You have internet, Skype. Anytime you have a question, you can call me, because like I said, I've told people, when people have sincere questions and objections, I'll spend all day answering them. But if someone comes to attack and mock, they won't last. So you're proof, because I will serve you for the sake of Jesus, who loves you, who's in love with you, as long as I live, by the grace of God. So you don't hesitate to call me and ask me questions. So now ask a couple more. If you have a couple more, let's answer them.
Okay, yes. I think I can think of two more. So one more question that they like to bring up a lot is how, like in the Hebrew Bible, the inheritance for women was different, and then in Christianity it was more like secular, like it was more of a secular law, so it wasn't really bound by the book. So they say, oh, here, look, we guarantee at least half. Okay, it may be bad by today's standard, but for 2,000 years it wasn't bad. Or I mean, sorry, like 1,300 years it wasn't bad. So I mean, I know that it's better today, but I don't really know how to respond to something like that.
They're telling you, they're speaking from ignorance. The Bible nowhere commands how much inheritance to be allotted to the women, because that's an open door that's left open instead of fixing it. Because again, circumstances change. When you have something fixed, it becomes what we call inviolable, meaning it cannot be changed. But when you have principles and you leave the door open, that means you can look at each circumstance and look at the family and how many sons and how many daughters, and then split it evenly. The only rule you have in the Bible is the firstborn gets a double portion. The rest, you divide it equitably among all of them, including the women. There's nothing in the Bible that says women don't inherit, or if they inherit, less than the boys. It doesn't say that. So actually the Bible is actually superior to the Quran, because the Quran fixes it. It says the man equal to 2 women, right?
Yes.
Not in the Bible. It's open. So let's say I have $1 million. I have $1 million, and I have 2 boys and 2 girls. My oldest, the oldest is a boy, firstborn. He gets $500,000, but then the other $500,000 is shared equally with the 3. There's nothing that prohibits it. In fact, when you then come to the New Testament, let me show you what Paul says, the principle. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 14. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 14. And don't forget another thing, in that society, women are married off, so they're always provided for, because a husband has to provide for his spouse and children. But still, with that said, there's nothing in the Old Testament, and if again, I'm not perfect, I may be wrong. Can you show me where in the Old Testament it says women don't inherit, or if they inherit, this is how much they inherit? It's not stated, because it's left open. The only thing that is stated is the firstborn gets a double portion. But if you go to 2 Corinthians 12:14, here Paul is commenting on something that is a given fact, something acceptable, Jews, Christians, even the Greeks. And what is it? Here it is, 2 Corinthians 12:14. Behold, the third time I'm ready to come to you. I will not be burdensome to you. For I seek not yours, but you. I seek you. I don't want what you have, I want you. For the children do not lay up for the parents, but parents for the children. Does it say only the boys?
No.
That's the principle. The duty of the parents is to make sure they store up for their children, whether girls or boys. So the only rule you have, if you have a firstborn, he gets half. And then the rest, you then divide it equitably among the other siblings, whether boys or girls. So which is superior? A book that fixes the ratio, man gets equal to 2 women, or a book that says you give the firstborn, right, double portion, right, or half, and then the rest you divide it equitably?
No, I agree that with it being more, with it not being fixed, and it could be more progressive as the time goes on. So even if the firstborn was a female, the rule still applies?
Well, see, here's the thing. Firstborn, remember patriarchal society? This is another tricky thing. In a patriarchal society, the firstborn is the one who carries your name.
Oh,
because remember, in that society, the biblical as well as Quranic, it's called the patriarchal society, meaning you consider the firstborn the son who carries your name. So that's the first one. So even if my daughter's the oldest, she's not going to carry my name. She's going to carry the name of someone else. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, but now let's say you have no sons, all girls. Now that's a different story. And the Bible even has principles to address that. Right? And you'll find that in Numbers 27 and onwards, where the daughters of Zelophehad, and they even come to Moses saying, our father has no sons. What is his share? So his share was given to his daughters.
I see it.
Right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So which is more fair? Did you leave it open because you have to take into consideration the circumstances and the situation, or you fix it and then have to deal with the problems of fixing it that is not compatible with the reality of the situation at hand, and then you have to come up with 1,001 ways of getting around it.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you here. You see, I think it's very problematic the way it works in our media, because they show you with one side, they cherry pick one verse here and there, and then they say, here, look, we're so much better, we're so much more progressive. You see, these people are so naive and they just trust their priests and they don't think for themselves.
Yeah, that sounds like the Muslims who follow the shuyukh, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. So